here we go in the 2026 Porsche Cayenne e-Hybrid. This is the base Cayenne e-Hybrid. You can get 3 different e-hybrids. This, the SE Hybrid, and the Turbo e-Hybrid. But for this video, we're going to talk about this one, and it has a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that's paired with an electric motor, and combined they make 463 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. It's absolutely incredible how Porsche makes this 5,000-pound SUV feel like a sports car. Taking turns is so easy. So price-wise, the e-Hybrid kicks off at $120,000 Canadian, or about $103,000 US. This particular one is spec'd to $142,000 with options here in Canada. You can get this in a regular SUV or a coupe style. 0 to 60 happens in 4.6 seconds with Sport Chrono, or about 4.9 without it. It has an 8-speed Tiptronic S transmission, a 254 km/h top speed, and can tow 7,700 pounds. That's the exact same towing capacity as a non-hybrid Cayenne. Now, Porsche refreshed the Cayenne lineup in 2024, and the battery situation has improved. You now have a 21.8 kilowatt-hour battery, and charging has bumped up to 11 kilowatts, so you can get full charge in around 2.5 hours at a level 2 charger. EV range is around 77 kilometers, or about 48 miles. Now, some notable features and options on this Cayenne include the exterior color, which is called Quartzite Gray Metallic. It has 21-inch Cayenne exclusive design wheels with a staggered setup. You have 305s in the back and 285s up front, 6-piston brake calipers up front and 4-piston in the rear. This also has the optional rear axle steering, which also makes you opt for the air suspension, which includes Porsche's active suspension management. This has the Sport exterior package. It has Sport tailpipes in high gloss dark bronze, a satin black Porsche logo, Porsche puddle lamps, HD matrix LED headlights, which are awesome, soft closing doors, roof rails in a black aluminum finish, and overall, this is a fantastic looking SUV. Porsche did a great job modernizing this in 2024, and Porsche does a great job at just improving their designs subtly over time. Something other German brands could maybe try. But what about you? What do you think about the design? Well, 578 votes came in from Instagram and YouTube, and you gave this an 81% approval rating. So that is pretty solid. Now, quickly, I want to shout out today's sponsor, Wolfbox, and they recently sent me this, the MegaFlow 200 Air Duster. This is a super compact portable fan that's great for keeping your car interior clean. It weighs less than 1 pound, it's super compact, and you can pretty well leave it in your car, and because it charges via USB-C, you can charge it in your car too. It's great for seat gaps, floor mats, and those super hard to clean crevices in your car. Places a vacuum never fully grabs. It's also handy for drying water on your car's grille, side mirrors, and door handles. Also great for workshops to remove dust off workspaces. This has a super easy to swap battery. It has 3 adjustable power levels and 4 interchangeable nozzles, flat, round, long, and an inflatable one, great for inflating a mattress. It's a handy little tool, and I've genuinely been using it. Now, if you want to pick up one of these, click the link in the description below, and let's jump back into the Porsche Cayenne. Now, all Cayennes in this new generation have Porsche's active suspension management, the 2-valve, 2-chamber technology, and this one has air suspension as well. And you have 5 different drive modes. So you have off-road mode, e-power mode, which is where you drive completely on the battery, unless you hit the gas really hard, then the engine kicks in. Then you have hybrid, and there's 3 different modes within hybrid actually: hybrid auto, hybrid e-hold, and hybrid e-charge. You can essentially charge the battery with the engine. And then you have sport, and then sport plus. And so I've driven this basically in sport plus all week because it's a Porsche. So my fuel economy is not as good as what you could achieve if you actually drove this in e-power a lot. I've been averaging about 11 liters per 100 kilometers throughout the week, but the total life of this seems to be 12.3 liters per 100 kilometers. So not terrible considering the power you're getting, but you could get way better. Honestly, it could be whatever you want. If you charge this up and have your battery at full often, and you just drive around in e-power mode, you can have really good fuel economy. It's just, I don't have a charger at home, and I don't have a 240 volt plug in my garage, so I couldn't use the charger that this came with. I did try to charge it at a 6 kilowatt charger, but it said it was going to take like 5-6 hours to get to full, so I just said, you know what, I'm going to drive around in Sport Plus and charge the battery by just driving. And yes, in Sport Plus, this charges the battery to make sure that you've got max power, because you actually can't do launch control unless you have some range on your EV battery. The non-hybrid Cayennes get a 90-liter fuel tank. This gets a 75-liter fuel tank. It said on this car's only got like 3,000 kilometers on it. It said this car had driven 1,000 kilometers of EV range. So a third of the driving of this car has been in EV. Okay, so we have launch control. Let's try it out. I'm gonna turn traction off. I'm in Sport Plus. We put the brake all the way to the ground, hit the gas, launch control active. It's quick, it's quick. Honestly, for a base Cayenne, this is quick. In terms of the transmission, this is an 8-speed Tiptronic-S transmission. So it's not PDK, it's not a dual clutch transmission, but it still shifts pretty quick. It's not as snappy, obviously, as a Porsche with PDK, but it's pretty good. And it's more designed for comfort because this is a family SUV after all. Like I said, the handling is just incredible. It feels like you're in a tiny little sports car, like no body roll. So as I mentioned, this has that air suspension. When you throw this into hybrid, it really softens up. Sport Plus, obviously, it's ready to rock and roll. It's stiff, but no matter what drive mode you're in, the steering is direct and sharp. So this has the Sport Chrono package. This has the upgraded quad exhaust at the back that look awesome. And it's also kind of funny to see quad exhaust and a green plate. I don't find this vehicle has much of a sound. I've done a couple flyby shots and then I've watched them on my computer. I'm like, I really hear too much. And it's pretty quiet in this cabin. Like, it's really quiet from all the outside noises, but even the engine's not, like, you hear it, but it's not overly loud, and they're definitely not plumbing in any fake sound. Where they do send out fake sound is when you're in e-power mode and driving slow. It does have that Porsche electric sound as you're driving around, so people can hear you. And it actually sounds cool. I kind of like it. It's very futuristic sounding. In terms of visibility, it's pretty good. Maybe like a slight blind spot at the back, but it's not bad. You've got blind spot monitoring. Doesn't have a rear view mirror camera like most modern cars seem to have, especially in this luxury segment. So we don't have that. Obviously, it's Porsche. Everything you want, you gotta buy it. It's an option. I find the brakes a little funny at times. When I first picked up the vehicle, it did it more, but it would feel like you come to a stop and then it would lurch more. But I've actually found that it's not doing that anymore as much, and it might only happen in certain drive modes. I just drive this in Sport Plus, like all the time. So the last Porsche I was in was a Panamera GTS, and honestly, the interior felt pretty similar. Porsches in general have pretty similar interiors. The 911 is a little bit different, but the Panamera GTS that I reviewed had the infotainment screen over here. This doesn't have it. Honestly, I don't think people would use it anyways. In this one, we just have a gloss black panel, and then we have a 12.3-inch infotainment screen and a 12.3-inch driver's display, and it's fairly customizable. I usually leave it at these gauges because it kind of looks like the old analog ones, but you can cycle through, and you can have your entire map up there, and then you can go really minimal, kind of like the EVs. We've got a sweet GT Sport steering wheel with paddle shifters, and we change our drive modes with the little selector here. As soon as you throw into Sport Plus, the engine kicks in, but you throw it back into e-power, we go back into battery mode. This has a boost button, which gives you extra power. It's a sport response button for 20 seconds. Very cool. We have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Because this is a plug-in hybrid, we also have this charging menu. It has a really good 360 camera with lots of different views. So if you click this right here, you can see all around the vehicle, and it's got a pretty good graphic. Like, it looks pretty sweet. Has red brakes. We don't have red brakes, so that's lame. But it is a pretty good camera. I will just say, when you are reversing and you're in like a tight spot, it does kind of make it look like the cars around you are closer than they are. So just make sure you're using your mirrors. The most important button on this screen is probably vehicle. This is where you can change your adaptive air suspension. So you have your different levels. You've got a wide variety, 5 different heights. If you hit off-road 2, we start going pretty high up. You can go all the way down to low, and the car looks slammed. It looks more like a hatchback when you throw it into low, and that's where it goes when you put this in Sport Plus. In this cabin, we do have ambient lighting. It's not like Mercedes level or Audi level or BMW level ambient lighting. It's pretty chill. It's just in your cup holders and kind of the door panels. But you got different colors to choose from, really the whole rainbow here. Below, we have a wireless charger with a fan, so it keeps your phone cooled. No overheating happening here. Love the HVAC controls in Porsches. Just like solid buttons. Physical controls, terrific. We have ventilated seats in this Cayenne and heated seats. Volume knobs in a perfect spot. Another little cubby, 2 cup holders, and then a decent amount in your center console. It's not the deepest, but it is wide. This Cayenne is outfitted with the 2-tone leather seats, chalk and black, and this is a $4,770 Canadian option. Very expensive seats. There is memory seats on both sides, 3 different levels. And yeah, no, it's a great interior. I really love this Cayenne. I love the Macan, Panamera, 911. They make great interior spaces. Obviously, the gloss black's a little intense. There's a lot of gloss black. Hard to keep that looking good. This one's already scratched, actually. I noticed that immediately when I got in the car. So that's a bummer. But you know what? It looks sweet. Looks awesome. Love the clock up there too. The back seats are roomy, much better than a Macan, and I really like this panoramic sunroof. It extends all the way back. It feels very open. Really good temperature controls, lots of airflow with the vents in the middle and sides. This one has heated seats for the rear passengers as it has the Premium Plus package, and we have 2 USB-Cs. The rear cargo area on this normal style, not coupe style, gets 22.1 cubic feet of space, or 627 liters. It is slightly different from the gasoline variants, which get a little bit more space, and that's just due to how the battery is placed in the vehicle. You've got a 40-20-40 split with buttons to raise and lower the vehicle with air suspension. However, there is no spare tire in this e-hybrid. So, great week with the Porsche Cayenne e-hybrid. I wish I could have tested the battery range a little bit more, but overall the fuel economy was decent given the performance numbers. Definitely better than that Acura MDX Type S I drove recently. I know, completely different powertrain, not a hybrid, but it made less power and much worse fuel economy. If you're looking at this or an SE hybrid, I'd say just go for the e-hybrid. The SE hybrid is only 0.2 seconds faster to 60 miles per hour. This is definitely quick enough. It's a fascinating segment. This thing takes 93 octane fuel, so I don't think fuel economy is really a priority on something like this, but it is cool that you can have full EV range in the city, and then if you have to go on a long road trip, you've got a full tank of gas. Now, if you own an e-hybrid, I'd love to know what your fuel economy is like in the real world. Please drop a comment below. Thanks so much for watching, and a big thanks to Wolfbox for sponsoring this video. We'll see you soon.